Hare Krishna. How do the fatal wounds administered on a body that has already been destroyed get transmuted to as birthmarks or birth defects on a new body? Answer: that is because along with the soul, the mind goes to the next body. So the soul and the mind both go together, and when a person suffers a fatal wound, at that time there is not just a physical injury, but there is also a mental impression. Oh my God, I was shot in my head, I was stabbed in my chest. And that thought keeps going on and on in the mind. And because that impression has been formed in the mind, when the person goes to the next body, at that time, that impression is formed by the mind on the next body. So this is a result of the mind affecting the body. Dr. Ian Stevenson did multiple research on parallel lines, and he wrote a paper called The Paranormal Modification of Biological Form, where he recorded many cases of how people who, because of thinking in a particular way, if they thought that their hand is burnt, then in some cases burn marks appeared on their hands. If pregnant woman saw some violent scenes in which, say, a baby was injured, and that created a great impression on her, and eventually when she gave birth to a child, at that time there was some injury at a similar point as she had seen in the TV. So basically, the impressions of the mind can cause transformations in the body. So there are traumatic impressions in the mind which have occurred at the time of death in the previous life. Then those impressions are carried on by the same mind into this life. And because the mind is still the same, and the mind is experiencing something like a body lag, just like when we go travel from one country to another, we might have a jet lag, where our body continues to function according to the biology, according to the clock of that place. Similarly, because the mind is still caught in the previous life, when death happens suddenly and violently, then the mind does not get the time to process the event of death. And that's why those impressions are not only there in the mind, but they are prominent in the mind. And then those impressions get impressed on the body as birthmarks or birth defects. Thank you.